Yo, what's good, YouTube? It's Stories of Yonko back here with another video. And look, I want to talk about something that I don't think anybody has necessarily touched on. Well, they probably have. YouTube is very vast, especially when it comes to the NBA and content creators. But I want to talk about this term called, quote unquote, winning bias, and what it entails and what it truly means, and how a lot of people in my generation have, I guess, use this term to justify putting certain players over other players, right? Because it's winning bias, as they say. But in reality, I got to take up for the old generation on this one, man, because winning has always mattered. Winning has always counted. And it wasn't until you got some of these guys in the NBA that did not win. Now, all of a sudden, we're supposed to say winning doesn't matter because look at this stat. Look at their accolades outside of winning, right? I want to tell y'all something, man. Every all-time great has been given a chance to establish themselves on a higher level. Or great players or good players have always had an opportunity to establish themselves as all-time greats, cement their legacies, right? And they didn't come up like big in the moment, or they failed, or whatever happened, right? And then that's when you got to say, okay, yeah, even if they do win down the road, you can always bring it back to, well, what happened here, right? Right? And that's like a dark stain on their legacy. So you got to use that against them if you want to rank this player over that player, right? That does not have that dark stain, of course. And it's usually surrounding LeBron James, players like Damian Lillard, Allen Iverson, whatever, right? And honestly, I'm just not feeling it, man. Because if winning bias truly existed, you would have people saying Bill Russell was the GOAT. Don't nobody even talk about Bill Russell, man. Rest in peace to the legend. Nobody even talks about Bill Russell anymore. Bill Russell, he's outside of my top 5, but it's like he's in my top 10. Because you got to respect what he did for the game, what he pioneered. He's probably the greatest defensive player of all time. And you don't even know it because they didn't track certain defensive metrics such as, blocks before a certain year? Like, dude, who knows what Wilt and Bill was doing? Like, crazy numbers before they even started tracking them. So, listen, man, I just don't agree with this, it's winning bias, because all that is code term for the player that I want to rank high does not have the accolades to rank over the player that you put ahead of them, and that player ahead of the player that I want to move up actually has the accolades to justify them being there. Like, say me, right? I can't put LeBron James over Michael Jordan because MJ is 6-0. LeBron is 3.5 and 6. And yes, I said 3.5 because y'all know what the hell I'm talking about. That bubble ring, that shit don't really count like that because they ain't run it back. They ain't like, dude, the Lakers have been a shit show since the bubble. And I'm going to make a video on that because, I want to talk about that, right? But listen, man, winning has always mattered. It only doesn't matter to people who want to push certain narratives about certain players like a Damian Lillard, right? Like I said, every potential all-time great has had an opportunity to cement themselves, right? And go up into the upper echelon. What happened in 2019? What happened? Oh, yeah, you sent Russell Westbrook home. But what happened in the second round? You got carried by CJ McCollum. What happened in the conference finals? You got swept by a Golden State Warriors team without Iggy. And wait, did they have Draymond? Bro, you know how many years ago that was? But either way, I know they didn't have KD, right? And you were up by 14 and damn near every quarter of the series, and you choked it away. I don't want to hear about no injuries, none of that. You were good enough to get up. You just ain't close it out because you're not that great. Kevin Durant, 2016. What happened? I know Russell Westbrook, but still, what happened? You didn't get the job done. You didn't get the job done. All these players have had opportunities. Charles Barkley, he's had opportunities to cement himself. Ain't no damn winning bias. Everybody has had an opportunity to be great. Everybody has had an opportunity to cement their legacies. They just failed. Like, that's just, it is what it is. So we don't need to start bringing down people like Larry Bird, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Magic Johnson. People talk about, oh, well, he had Kareem. Yeah, he did have Kareem. But it wasn't like he had what? Milwaukee Kareem, but it's like he was still a good version of Kareem, but he was on the older side. People like to dock certain players, but you don't see all these other players that are all-time greats that have won more than LeBron James had to trade this teammate, that teammate, that teammate, this teammate, go here, go there. No. Most of these guys stuck with the same team for all their careers. They just got it done. That's how they did it back in the day. But this whole term winning bias, y'all need to stop this, man. It's disrespectful to the legends, man. It's disrespectful. It's disrespectful. You got people saying Damian Lillard is the greatest trailblazer of all time. Not Bill Walton or Clyde. It's definitely Bill Walton. But Clyde went to 2. Bill Walton won 1. He actually won 1. This nigga ain't did shit. This nigga got, the only time this dude ever did something in Portland was getting swept by Golden State when they were undermanned. So, I'm done with this whole winning bias. Y'all gotta kill that whole conversation. It doesn't exist. It does not exist. Winning always matters. It wasn't until niggas realized that LeBron James couldn't reach MJ and Russell Westbrook would go down as irrelevant without the triple doubles, and Damian Lillard will never win a championship, then all of a sudden winning bias. It did not become a conversation until the players that they loved could not reach a certain, I don't know, accolade, or couldn't reach a certain level of greatness that you put certain players like a Kyrie Irving or a Steph Curry on, Isaiah Thomas. Those players that you put on that pedestal, you can't reach them no more because of you didn't do this. You had a chance and you failed. When they were there, they accomplished it. Now we seeing what Dame going through in Milwaukee. This nigga not a winning player. These niggas in dog fights every day with teams that they should be blowing out. Lesser talented teams. And they getting their ass whooped. They just lost to the Chicago Bulls without Zach LaVine and DeMar. Like, these niggas ain't like that. But anyway, that's all I gotta say. Winning bias doesn't exist. It's always matter who won. Rings always count. You feel me? Along with the accolades. Let's stop just looking at the accolades, because now people want to say, oh, the LeBron James no help narrative. The nigga has had help throughout his career. It's just, dude, his play style only, I guess, inflates his stats and it glorifies his play style. You're playing in the LeBron James system. So everybody else gets better when they stop playing with him. You feel me? Look at KCP. You feel me? Kyrie. You feel me? Anthony Davis played better without him. Jordan Clarkson. You know? Like, Brandon Ingram. Kyle Kuzma. Like, everybody plays better when they don't. Rodney Hood. Like, Kevin Love before he went and joined up with him. Everybody plays better without him. So what does that say about him? Peace.